Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this particular video, I'd like to talk about Tim Burton's 2005 full-length feature stop-motion classic, Corpse Bride. This is a movie that I really highly regard because it's right up there in the vein of such films as Coraline and The Nightmare Before Christmas, and very much sort of a sister film to those pieces. But this one, the reason I've chosen to talk about it today is because it's largely the unsung among them. You know, I hear a lot of praise for Coraline, which is well earned, as well as Nightmare Before Christmas, but I rarely hear talk about Corpse Bride. And I think it's, one that has flown under the radars of a lot of people, and wrongfully so. I mean, from the get-go, you have a story that is like something out of a Washington Irving tale or Brothers Grimm, that kind of thing. You have a voice cast the likes of Johnny Depp, Helena Bonham Carter, Albert Finney, Tracy Ullman, Joanna Lumley, Emily Watson, Christopher Lee, just to name a few. Music by the great Danny Elfman, who also voices a vocal track in this particular film. And it's just astounding, telling the story, of course, of Victor and Victoria, a man and woman whose family, their parents, have set them to be betrothed. They've never met each other. They are very apprehensive in a sort of Victorian climate of having to meet each other, because what their marriage comes down to, it all boils down to being a business meeting of sorts. It turns out Victoria's family is near to being destitute. They're going to be out on the streets, and they want to have her marry into wealth, and that is, of course, Victor's family. And so you have the parents, respectively, really going through the motions. They just need this to conclude as quickly and quietly as possible so everything can be well-to-do by the end. Victor and Victoria, however, understandably, they don't know if they want to be signed up for this because they don't know who they're going to be meeting, who they're going to be spending the rest of their lives with. Upon finally encountering each other in this very romantic little setting where Victor is in the house playing the keyboard, the piano, basically the music that he's creating is heard by Victoria, and they come upon each other and are very smitten from right off. They fall head over heels for each other. But of course, Victor's nervousness gets the better of him and really kind of amps up the annoyance factor for everyone involved, the vicar included, the priest sort of overseeing the nuptials, sort of going through the motions of testing it out and seeing how it's going to play out the next day and everything like that, which is voiced by Christopher Lee, very ominously, I might add. And, of course, he ends up sort of sulking and mulling it over, going out into the woods to have some time by his lonesome. And finally, he decides he's got to say these vows. He's got to learn them and say them correctly and with, a sort of level of vigor of being proud that he wants to take this woman as his wife. Lo and behold, does he say the vows and accidentally put the ring that he's carrying on the hand of a corpse that is stuck up out of the ground, and thus enters the corpse bride herself, a woman who was once betrothed and left for dead by, just a bad character who later crops up in this film, and I'll not say any more than that. But in any case, you have the divide between the living world and the dead world, the dead world being a lot more vivacious and robust, colorful than even the living world can attribute. And essentially you have Victor trying to get out from the underground, the downstairs, if you will, back onto the upside so he can make, a claim for his love for this woman, Victoria. And of course they think Victoria's crazy when she sees the corpse bride and she's trying to tell everyone that he has been unwittingly married to her and all this stuff. And there are twists and turns, and it's just a beautiful story because by the end of it, of course, the two lovers do come together. The baddie who sort of instigated the corpse bride's misery does meet his end, and so does the corpse bride herself, but in a very satisfactory way. And there's some unsung, animators and producers behind this particular film, people like Mike Johnson, who is the cat who oversaw directorially all of this stop-motion filming, overseen, of course, by Tim Burton. You have Peter Saunders as well as Ian McKinnon, who are puppet creators. You have the character designer, Carlos Gringel, and there are just so many people behind this particular work that are fantastic, that I think, their praises should definitely be sung, because it's not just down to Tim Burton. He may have had the overall vision. There were a lot of people involved in making this, and it's one of those modern-age classics. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below if you've ever seen the film, what you thought of it, or if you'll be checking it out sometime soon if you haven't. Otherwise, that'll be it for me. I'll catch you later. Peace.